Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Friday, so we just closed out of the trading week. Thank you guys for showing up, like, comment, subscribe. Um, Glad you guys can make it, and yeah, I just hope all is well. It's been a little minute since I've posted a video. This is gonna be an update video, of course, about how everything's been. I'm also gonna read you guys a quick quote before I get into that, and then probably just talk a little bit about. I think the topic today I kind of want to lean towards is going to be. I want to say discipline. If you guys have been watching and following along on my Instagram account, I've been posting a lot about like discipline, especially on my Reels. I have my Reels account for my Instagram account. I have a Reels account that I have an assistant who is posting videos about like discipline and stuff like that. Just keep on showing up and stuff like that. Consistency over talent really beats talent literally any day if you're just consistent because of law of accumulation. If you believe in like the different laws, law of attraction, law of accumulation, things like that, then um most of the times, things are gonna work out in your favor. But if you rely on, talent, let's say you do have talent, you rely on talent. You could be a ball player, you could be a track star, you run track and field or some type of sport, and you're just naturally good at this sport, right? Someone who is consistently showing up will most likely beat you at the end of the day. As long as they keep on showing up, they will most likely break your record, you know, and just literally pass you. It's happened to me in track and field. Like invested, I have naturally been someone who's able to run, 100s, 200s, 400s, um, even cross country. And then once it got to um once it got to a point where like new people would show up and stuff like that on the track and field team, they would start at a certain level, right? And then so they wouldn't really be around the type of like speed that I'm at. And then next thing you know, I'm competing against these people who at the time were new to the team, but then, once they started showing up and putting in more time, maybe even more time than I was, then they were able to start competing at my level and then, ended up passing me. So, consistency wins when will definitely outweigh and win talent because of law of accumulation. That's pretty much what it is. So I want to read you guys this quote. Mark Douglas, the discipline trader, he says, "If we don't understand our own behavior, we certainly can't begin to understand or anticipate anyone else's." So I think this quote right here kind of ties into journaling. I want to say that journaling is very important because it allows you to understand where you're going wrong. It understands when you're taking these big losses or an uncomfortable loss. You're able to think about like next time if like you can actually put your because this is what I've done this week, and this is why I want to share with you guys this quote. I'm going to read it again. So, if we do not understand our own behavior, we certainly can't begin to understand or anticipate anyone else's. So, this quote this week, especially specifically for this week, is interesting because it applied to the way that I logically traded on my accounts this week, account number one and account number two, which in my past, based on my journaling, I've noticed that when I overtrade, I trade more than like 15 times for the week. I end up having like a losing week, or I end up just over trading to a point where I close out like extremely negative rather than like break even or somewhat negative in the red. I'd like either blow my entire account or XYZ. So now I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, if we're midweek, maybe Wednesday, and by Wednesday I haven't had profit at all, and then it touches Thursday, like for this week, what I thought was, okay, well, if it's now like, middle of the week or ending of the week and I haven't profited, I'm most likely not gonna trade on Friday because I just don't really see much activity on Fridays based on my just based on my track record. I know if you look at last week, you can see I closed out on Friday for 247 on this, or I'm not sharing my screen right now. I'll show you guys, but yeah, like track record shows, my track record of me journaling indicates that most of my Fridays are L days. Most of my Sundays and Mondays are also L days. So that's one of the main reasons why I did not trade on Sunday or Monday this week. And that's also a good reason for why I'm not really for trading on like Sundays and Mondays. I might see like it has to be an A plus plus setup. It has to give me over 1 to 3 minimum. It has to it just everything just has to align for me to take the trade on Sunday, Monday. And I know you're probably thinking, well, maybe if it's a B plus trade, 1 to 2, yeah, I'm taking it, but not for me. Personally, I have my own underwriting guidelines that I would follow and I believe in so that it can help me get across the finish line at the end of the week and profit. And I can't do that if I'm just continuously taking L after L after L on Sundays and Mondays because based on my track record, it's just not in my favor most of the times. Since I'm swing trading, I'm not doing the whole scalping business. I'm looking to swing trades. I'm not looking to take a scalp for the day to get in and get out. I'm looking to capture the entire move. It's great for my mental and I can just understand the footprints in the markets a little bit better than I can for scalping. A lot of times I've caught myself when I was scalping, I'd like see something and then I'd be like, "Oh, this is great." I'd do my risk to reward here and there. Then middle of the scalp, I'm like, "Okay, this was a bad idea." But when it comes to swing trading, for me personally, the way that I normally look at it is okay, so I'm studying this. I've taken a good amount of time to study it and works perfectly. And then boom, I'll set like an alert or something, and then I'll just keep on thinking about it and thinking about it. I'll think about this. I'll think it allows me to still it gives me time to even think about the move in advance. It allows other moves to play out so that I know, okay, boom, if that happens, then XYZ, I can probably do this one instead of that one, and then I can push this one off to the side. I probably throw this one into my red folder. I'll throw this one into my A plus plus folder, and then I got this green tag right here that I can just label these under just in case if this A plus plus setup doesn't work out, I can then transition into green tag. The red folders or the red tags I'm not even gonna really look at. Although I might set an alert on a pair or commodity or maybe US 30 NASDAQ, I might set an alert for a certain price range that can possibly indicate that there's a potential move on something that I tag as red, which normally if I tag something that's red, it's not gonna play out for the week, but I'm not closed-minded. I'm very open-minded to seeing what the possibilities are if price ends up rolling into my direction or point of interest. So that's why I use alerts because alerts are extremely helpful. If you want to buy at a certain price, sell at a certain price, then uh, alerts are extremely helpful, especially if you're looking for like a small time frame indication that may be a potential move for you. Um, at a specific price point in the markets. So that's pretty much my take on like obviously journaling and based on this quote where he says if we don't understand our own behavior, we certainly can't begin to understand or anticipate anyone else's. And I can go on and on and on all day about this quote because if I don't personally understand my own behavior, you're gonna see it in the way that I'm trading these accounts too. Like this allows me to study, document, refine, tweak this, tweak that. It allows me to uh find out where I where I need to improve. And then it also allows me to reflect on what I did good. So I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by this quote. And again, he says, if we do not understand our own behavior, we certainly can't begin to understand or anticipate anyone else's. So here, let's start sharing. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start on the second account. So based on the second account, we can see that, here, let me close out these tabs. So the second account indicates that we are here. Okay. This is the second account. As you can see, net P&L is $620. I mean, it's as long as, we're in an uptrend, we're not trending downwards too much. But yeah, as you can see, this week we got two trades, five trades, three trades, which is 10 in total. So 10 is not bad, right? Believe it or not, 10 is not bad. Because if we look at, let's say we look 2 weeks ago, that was 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Boom. And this was a winning week. This one was, last week was 2, 3, 6, 9, 14, 16 or 15. So 15 last week. So it looks like in this range between like 10 to 15 trades per week is like ballpark on whether I'm gonna either be profitable or not profitable for the week. I don't really want to exceed that range just because based on my track record, right? When I started analyzing my own behavior, I started to understand and anticipate, I can understand, anticipate other people on what they're doing and stuff like that to see whether it makes sense for me to go long, go short at a specific price, where I should stop, place my stop loss based on my previous trades, setups, and, track record pretty much. But and this pretty much, I mean that's pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. Now, if we were to look at this other account, you can see still in the red, -2, 1T5.95. This week was how many trades? Two, three, four. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So same amount because I pretty much copy and paste the same type of setups on this account. I do the same exact on the other account. Obviously, it's just different leverage or different equity, which means that I'm risking a different amount. I'm risking less on this account than I am on the other account. Same percentage, but when it comes to the dollar amount that I'm risking, this is obviously going to be lower, which is why I closed out this week -$9 on this account, account number one, and I closed out negative 90, so $90 in the red for this week on the second account. I'm also going to show you guys I'll show you guys my trade locker just so that you guys can pretty much see what I mean. What I'll do is I'll start by showing the first one, which is here, and then I'm gonna click close positions, and then once you can see, so it's on this week, you can see -$9.57 if I close. If I do this month though, we're still in the green, so we're still positive $250. Now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to open up the second account, and with the second account, you're gonna see that I'm also I've also had a red week this week because I took the same type of trade setups. You can see this month though, we're up $838 on this account. This week though, we're -$90. And if you guys remember, last week we closed out at $18 or 1819. So 1819 minus 90. 18, 19. I'm gonna see the percentage. It should be like only like 5%, but so that's 18, 19 from value 1819 to value 1685. So 1685. That's about a 7% decrease. I mean, it's not bad, right? It's not bad at all, but especially because of if you look at the profits that when I'm actually winning in a winning trade, you can see like the profits start to get really large. But yeah, I mean, it was actually not a bad week. I'm actually proud of the profit and loss statement here that you're looking at. Actually wasn't bad because normally, back when I was reckless, I wasn't journaling, things like that. I was averaging, or not averaging, but just I was not profitable. Um, I would have at this point, if it got to Friday and I wasn't profitable, I'd be fiending to be in a trade. Excuse me. Now that I know that on Fridays I'm usually not and if you see like green and stuff like that on Fridays, usually it's a trade that I was holding, throughout the week or maybe the previous day. So just because you see something on this, Friday and you see either profit or loss, that doesn't always mean that, I just jumped into a trade that same Friday to start shopping around for a trade. So as you can see though, I didn't shop around for anything. I was not holding anything either throughout this Friday today, as you can see here, because it's just completely blank, and the market closed like 3, 4 hours ago. It's like 9 o'clock at night right now, almost 10 o'clock at night. It would have been posted on this, profile if I did take trades or whatever. But yeah, day win percentage 27.74, trade win percentage 21.44. Look, you don't need a 50% win rate to be profitable. You should to be profitable, obviously an edge, but also proper risk management. Risk management is the most important. But yeah, that's pretty much that. What I'm gonna do is I think instead of marking up on like the weekend, I'm just gonna mark up today. I'll give you guys my markup for the week next week for this upcoming week so that we know we're on the same page. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, boom. So let's start out here. What I'm gonna do is, all right, for one, what I want to do is I only want to keep GBP CAD highlighted or tagged as green because that's literally the most important trade of next week in my books, as of right now. Because if we can look at GBP CAD, this is the daily structure, and I've circled it too. So daily structure is bullish. You can see that price high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, and then we just keep on seeing highs. If we look left, let's look at the monthly. We can see that there's still some areas where price likes to go, which is obviously a little bit maybe higher. Um, Also, like let's say, boom, I'm gonna just delete all these. All right, let's start with area of interest on the daily time frame. So this is the daily time frame. Now, if this is our point of interest level or right here, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 touches. So 3 touches in this area, which price should be attracted to, especially because we've seen this is the daily time frame that has a got a daily time frame low. We got a daily time frame high. If we got a daily time frame low, we got a daily time frame high. And then let's say we break on a 1 hour structure point. We're gonna look at the retracement. Once we look at the retracement that we're getting right now, this is a pullback, then we're going to be targeting for a new high. So targeting for a new high. At some point, I believe either Sunday or Monday, we're going to get some form of complete retracement in this area so that we can start targeting for either a one to, obviously it's somewhere around 1 to 3 or more. Because there's no way that this is going to, leave us hanging without at least a minimum of 1 to 3. So that's why this is green, and that's why this is also in my A plus plus setup list. Now let's start with I'm gonna delete everything, so start from scratch. I really don't really go on monthlies, but like this previous week, crazy. I was in this gold trade right here, probably yeah, I un I removed the drawings because I just couldn't believe that I got taken out, which is fine, but not taken out. I actually closed in profit and I just never re-entered. I figured once the US dollar, news came out this past week about the US dollar, and then the market started shaking, and I was in about $250 in profit on the second account, and probably about $100 in profit on this account. I figured, I was up a good amount, especially because US dollar it was pretty much going up until it wasn't going up. Now, like if you look at the US dollar, I'm sorry to get off track, but like, man, if you just look at this, like US dollar just keeps on dropping. But the thing is, if you look at the monthly time frame, in order for us to actually like realistically go bullish to create newer highs, like we're gonna need some form of market structure shift around this area right here, which I'm not sure if I don't know if I really don't foresee the dollar. I mean, there's imbalance below, like right here. So maybe this is where price wants to get to like 91. So maybe we can like shift this to like around there. But if price on the monthly time frame closes beneath um this 88 on the monthly time frame, then we could be cooked or cooked pretty much for the US dollar. As of right now, though, the US dollar is bearish. We are not bullish because if you look at the daily time frame, we just keep on making lower lows. This was a low, this was a lower high, this was a lower low. Price right here now has been making a lower low. If you look at the lower time frames, they're making lower lows. And for the people who are watching this that trade trend lines, you can see this was a trend line that was broken. So now it's probably looking to retest some level of a point of interest to start making its way down again. But yeah, back to AUD NZD. So this is AUD NZD. If we look at the daily time frame, went from highs to lows to bullish. Once we see that price is now bullish, we then can take it from okay. So we're taking it from here. If we take it from here, we should get priced to this point right here. Is US 30? Where's US 30? US 30 is going crazy. I entered above here. Who knows where US 30 is going? US 30 looks confused. But then again, I'm getting too off track. But yeah. All right. So now that we got a 4 hour structure shift on yeah, we could look at if price comes into this zone right here, right? Because there's a huge gap, huge area of interest, which most likely it's going to get touched. Then boom, we can start shorting the market. But obviously, there's some factors that we want to factor in based on lower time frame just to see if it participates in the market as we think it will, and then we target about a 1 to 3 or more if it presents itself. So I'm gonna keep a lookout on this pair. I'm gonna put a alert here. This is not falling into my A plus plus list, but I will tag it green just because it's something that I'm gonna consider. And if we look at NZDJPY, so NZDJPY, we can see that there has been bullish structure on the daily time frame. Hence, most recent daily time frame is, I'm gonna delete this right here. Ah, I don't know if I'm interested in this. I'm not interested in AUD NZD or in NZD JPY. So I'm not interested in this. Oh, AUD NZD NZD JPY. I believe that price is probably gonna close above here. A lot of buyers right now, NZD JPY. Um, 4 hour, 4 hour time frame shows us. 4 hour time frame shows that we are bearish. Now, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but this is an imbalance. Price did break structure around this area in the imbalance, which could indicate that from here, price could probably just drop from where it's at, which is about a 1 to 7. It's probably, if it is dropping, it's gonna drop without us, which I don't want, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. 30 minute, yeah, it definitely broke structure. It's probably gonna like literally be all the way down here or like middle or something when the market opens. I wish I had seen this, but my head was just out of the market. I mean, the spread is probably open too right now, so I really don't mind, but I would definitely say this is on my green list. Red, green. I'm actually gonna mark this as an A plus plus setup because it's already at the zone, not A plus plus and A plus plus. Okay, get out. All right. USD CHF, we're waiting for, since the US dollar is going bearish and it's falling, we will anticipate that the, what is it, Swiss francs um dollar is gonna go bullish, which means that we should be looking at bearish moves on USD CHF. Now, if we look at the daily, we can see that it is, this is the high. So this is the most recent high. If this is the most recent high and this is the most recent low, we should start looking for lower time frame indicating that we are bearish. Now, once we do that, we can actually see that price does not have to make its way above here. So I'm going to delete this because we can actually start shorting USD CHF, shorting it for price to take this low out. Yeah, that would have been a crazy entry though. This entry right here is insane. I mean, it's kind of too late to enter this one, so I'm gonna sit this one out and I'm gonna delete these alerts because they no longer make sense. Probably should have turned on the light. Kind of too late because the video is probably almost over now, but AUD CAD. So I was thinking about AUD CAD, but I'm like, if I'm gonna take something, I'd rather just take GBP CAD because this is confusing. In order to clarify things, I'd have to look at the 8 hour time frame, which I'm normally not on, but I normally like to stay on the 4 hour, but I don't know what's interesting. Like the daily time frame, all right, we can probably say that this is, but then again, like realistically, if you look out, this is the overall, right, break of or range, daily range. Like now you can see there's, higher, higher, low, low, high, low. This. So what can happen is that, but at the same time, I just don't really like trading in range, in that type of range. So again, 4 hour time frame, it does indicate that we are bullish. So this could mean that we are headed to that area right here, and then I guess whichever one plays out with the better risk to reward, I'll accept it. So I will label that as green, and I'm going to include that in my A++ list. So let me see, to look for like imbalances, like there's imbalance below this wick in these like small areas. There's also an imbalance here on the 2 minute, this point right here. Who knows? Because if price gets around there, I'd love to buy it, but who knows? I mean, if you look previous times, you can see around this area is important too. It's important. If we look at the daily time frame, areas of interest is one. You got one touch right here. We got two touches right here. Three touches right here. Obviously, that's an important price. And I don't even have to go back. If I go back, you can see four, five, six, seven. Then if you want to count more, you can. But yeah, important price level for CAD pairs. Euro JPY. If we look at the daily, we're bullish. Like it doesn't get more bullish. Daily bullish. 4 hour time frames indicating that we might be at a pullback section. But I don't know. I just really don't know how I feel about this. So I'm just gonna. It's trading against the daily time frame. So I might not be for any of the JPY pairs, honestly. Let me see. Did I? Yeah, I'm gonna un A plus plus this setup. And I'm gonna make this red. I just don't really have a. My gut feeling is not for the JPY pairs. It's just not because I've already lost this CAD JPY pair, and can it snap back? Maybe, but I'm already negative $90 on my second account, negative $9 for the week on my first account, and I'm not gonna successfully hit my goals if I'm just taking these C plus, B plus setups, right? Just doesn't make sense. I'd rather just, especially right now, focus on A plus plus setups so that it's easier for me to uh hit my goals. But yeah, I think my perspective indicates that daily time frames bearish for the time being. Overall, look at the bigger picture. You can see this is the low, this is the high. Smaller picture, we're bearish. You can literally see this sell-off, huge sell-off here. If there's a huge sell-off here, that is manipulation, then we should have this distribution. First is accumulation phase. So phase one, accumulation. Second phase, manipulation. Then we get distribution. probably what phase we're in right now. Also, we can either get um reversal afterwards, or we can get continuation. I know that's horrible drawing, but yeah, that's pretty much the how the market operates and fluctuates and functions in a nutshell. All right, boom. So we got Euro AUD. I think this is a perfect pair to trade because it's not JPY. I'm not trading the Canadian in this pair. Strictly AUD Euro. Good good what do you call it? I don't know. Correlation maybe. Obviously we can see on the 4 hour time frame there's a good imbalance on the 4 hour time frame, which is a green flag. I'm not gonna say red flag because it's actually important, it's valuable. I'm gonna say it's a green flag because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for imbalances. So we want price to balance out at certain areas with that give us good risk to awards, you know. So yeah, since this is a trade idea, I'm not really looking for this to, especially because if we look at the 1 hour time frame, it's still bearish. 30 minutes still bear or bullish, my bad. Bullish. That indicates that price is potentially going to move higher. So this is to me, we know what this is to me. This is an A plus plus setup. Like let's be real. Like I want to say it doesn't get better. I think it does get better, honestly it does. GBP USD. So GBP USD. Let's talk about GBP USD. Clearly, clearly. This doesn't get any more clearer. Doesn't get any more clearer. Bullish. Um, Wicks had to learn this the hard way. Wicks tell the story, or Wicks do what? The damage. Body closures. So body closures tell the story. You ever heard of that quote? I made a dollar sign. I don't know why I did that. I don't know where this came from, but it's like always been with me for some reason. I guess it's ICT. The phrase "wigs do the damage, bodies tell the story" is a trading concept particularly associated with Michael Huddleston. Also known as inner circle trader, it describes how to interpret candlesticks charts and trading. The wicks or shadows of the candlestick represents the extremes of price movement during a trading period, while the body of the candlestick shows the difference between the opening and closing prices. Wicks damage. The wicks of a candlestick indicate the price reached during a period. Even if it didn't stay there, long wicks suggest a strong push in price, even if it was ultimately rejected. The body of the candlestick, the space between the open and close reveals the overall direction of the price movement during that period. Hmm. You can dive deeper in AI mode. Look at that. It's crazy. Literally everything's online. But yeah. Now if we look at, let's say we look at the hourly time frame. All right, so since we're looking at the hourly time frame, we can see that we now are bullish. Since we are now bullish, I mean, honestly, anywhere in this area would be a good place to buy. Um, like yeah, like realistically, any place in this area would be a good place to buy. Like if we were to put a buy right here, this would be our low, and then we just literally target the upside. I really wasn't paying attention to this because I didn't want to take any more trades and be, too much in the red closing out for the week. Also, I didn't really see any like imbalances for me to even enter. If I was gonna enter, it should have been somewhere in this area right here, but I didn't. I would have got an entry if I was paying attention to this area around Thursday. Could look, see, 3 o'clock candle closed right here. A New York session, you can see price wicked into that area of London session. Probably took a lot of people out and then started transitioning to go creating higher highs. Now that price is around this area, you can see if you were to enter right at this minute, it's a 1 to 8. But especially since the dollar is devaluing right now, this would be a good chance to buy this. I'm gonna put this also as my A plus plus setup because it's extremely important and it gives us a really good return on investment. Then we've got remove drawing. So daily time frame, NASDAQ, we're looking at a new high. Since we got a new high, we're actually at the highest high we've ever been. I'm gonna look at the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame indicates that this is simply a low and this is simply a high. This is not really, I mean, I would look for a low imbalance to consider this trade. Um, if we look at the 5 minute time frame for imbalances to take this trade, I'd probably like for me to consider this, I'd want to see something around here because if we look left, I mean, this is obviously an important area of interest, not on the daily time frame, but definitely probably the 4 hour or 1 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour. See, price like consolidates. It's like it bounces around this area of 22,760. Uh, wicked around here, wicked around here, here. Consolidation. People's considering whether they feel it should go up or down around there. So, if we see something around there, which is in the imbalance, I'm gonna target the upside. If this happens, if this goes well, green, right? Next, you've got US 30. So US 30 is daily time frame is bullish. We look at the 4 hour time frame though, it's indicating that we're bearish. With us indicating actually 4 hour time frame indicates that we're bearish or bullish. Um, but I'm not sure if we are. And for me to find that out, let me delete this and I'm gonna do high or first low, high, low, higher high, possibly lower low or higher low, higher high. If we were to look for price to give us a higher high or a higher low, then we want to look for imbalances. And what do you know? There's an imbalance literally right here. So we can indicate price to push up higher, right? Potentially. And if we get that, that's pretty similar to the NASDAQ trade. Sometimes they give us the same type of, entries, and whatnot. But yeah, since we're daily on the daily time frame, we could probably get, if we get an entry around there, could give us a good risk to reward. Excuse me. For highs. green. Not A plus plus, but good enough. Um, let's see. Now, if we are looking at a 4 hour time frame, again, the JPY pair is not really a fan. GBP AUD. This is interesting because I already marked off euro. This does not seem appealing. Like if I was to take a trade and I was to take it like this to target this right here, it just doesn't seem like a reliable source. Because if we're looking at higher highs, higher lows, look, low or lower, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Just doesn't really like for this to be a higher low and then create a higher high. I mean, it kind of just doesn't really sit right with me for some reason. The Euro AUD trade looks way better. And plus, the daily time frames in Confluence and the 4 hours in Confluence. If we look at GBP AUD, then we have 4 hour time frame that is like you can't even really like I mean it's bullish. GBP AUD is bullish. So honestly, it really personal preference. Like multiple times 4 hour time frames hit this too and shifted from bullish to bearish to bearish to bullish. Like and it's just playing too much games for me. So I'd rather not. I'd sit this one out, remove all drawings, and I really just want to trade with what I'm comfortable trading. If it looks confusing, I'm not interested. It has to literally, I forgot which trader said this, but if it doesn't look like I'm just able to pick the money up off the floor, I would walk towards it, pick the money up off the floor, and trade it, then no point in considering the trade. You don't want to overcomplicate it because once you start overcomplicating it, then it shows up in your profit and loss statement. So next we've got USD CAD. I'm not really a fan of USD CAD. From the US dollar indicating that we're bearish, but um US dollar from knowing US dollar is supposed to be indicating that um we're bearish, but seeing that the daily time frame is bullish means that the US dollar is sorry, coconut water tastes good. But this just indicates, that the Canadian dollar is losing towards the US dollar, which could be true, but or a short period of time, but as a swing trader, but I don't know if I'm seeing the DXY bearish, I'm gonna go with Canadian dollar being in favor, but from the looks of it, it doesn't seem that way. Because even the 4 hour time frame is bullish, which shows that US dollar's in favor over the Canadian dollar. So this one just doesn't really make sense for me, so I'm gonna sit that one out. GBP JPY. Daily time frame, what does it indicate? Bullish momentum. A lot of buyers in the market. 4 hour time frame, what are we looking at? Not interested. Just not interested. Boom. Down. Euro USD. What are we looking at? I'm looking for a price to enter this area right here. Why? Because it's a huge area that we have not gotten balanced out. We've not had any price balance out this area right here. It's all been bullish. There's no selling pressure at all, and it's been this way for let's check since June. So since the middle of the year, which was literally like last month, till now, that's 25 days. So almost a month price hasn't been around the price point of 1.1547. We need to fill that in. Once we fill that in, we can start looking for, some. This is probably like the only pair that I look at for US dollar. It's like almost, I want to say, almost, I kind of want to say simple. Like it doesn't get simpler. If this plays out, A plus plus setup. I mean, but first, just want price to get up there or get down there. But if price doesn't get down there, then oh wells. I'm actually gonna just because I don't know if this is actually gonna play out. But I mean, where did we start last week? This was Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So Monday, what about Sunday? Sunday, boom. So around this area till here, it's about 138. But this also considers the week. So we've had a difference in 164 points. I mean, for us to go from hair to hair is realistic because that's 83. 83 is, what is that? 160 minus 83 is about 60, maybe a difference of like 60 points. It's definitely doable. Like, that's less than 60 points. Maybe if I'm doing my math correctly in my head. Um, maybe less than 60 points. Than how many points we fluctuated last week. Um, compared to what could happen this next week. So I'll keep this green, but I'm not gonna have it as an A plus plus setup. Just because I don't know if price is gonna get to that area anytime soon next week. It's a high probability that I will, but my what do you call it? My setups are normally based with just I want to say just logic. Just logic. Hmm. So this one is interesting. This one is definitely interesting. It's just not clean enough. Daily time frame. I guess you can say that I guess you can say that this is the shift of structure. Because boom, it even created a low right here that people are gonna respect. If it creates something that people are gonna respect, which is around the 50%, and then we look at lower time frame imbalances, we can see boom, imbalance here, green flag, boom, even got imbalances around here. Boom. I would definitely keep this one in mind because if we get that, I mean, it's probably even imbalances around here. Like, see imbalance here, 2 minute time frame, we get imbalance, imbalance right here. I would say I would if it were me just trading this, nobody's watching. I'm going for that second one. But let's see what the daily time frame has to say about what we think. Don't just take my word for it. One. What do you get? One. Would I count that as two? Not sure. Let's say I don't. Two, three, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so I would still like look at this consolidation. Consolidation price just keeps on continuing to go up. I would say if I'm gonna choose something, I would go with this one right here. I would not go with, like I'm gonna just delete the 50% because honestly, it's irrelevant. I would just stick to this one right here. If we can get something right here, maybe we can go for boom, drop this right here. Target. the daily high. If we're targeting the daily high, we're looking for what is this? One to guess, 1 to 6. I'm gonna guess 1 to 6. 1 to 7. That is that is good. That is good. That is good. I like to see that. Consider this an A plus plus setup. GBP NZD daily time frame. You notice how I just go straight to the daily, straight to the daily time frame. Bearish. It goes bearish. It goes up. And still see the range. Indicate that this is bearish, but overall. But if we look at the 4 hour time frame, screams 4 hour time frame. Honestly, it looks confusing, so I just won't trade it. Red. Where are we at? We're almost done. GBP CHF daily time frame is boom, 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 boom. Daily highs. Yeah, we're definitely bearish. If we're bearish on the 4 hour time or daily time frame, then we look at the 4 hour time frame, you can see that the 4 hour time frame indicates that we've had a lot of bullish momentum. I'm looking at this, and from what I'm looking at, I would consider this bullish. So if we're looking at bullish signs, I would say we've already had our bullish move, which is this 15-minute structure point here. Once we get this 15-minute structure point here, I would say that this is the low. So look at this wick that took out almost everything. Boom. 4 hour time frame, it's shifted. I would say look left. If we look left, daily time frame shows. So we're bearish. I mean, this is a short term. If we do take this as a short term buy, I mean, there's a good imbalance right here. Daily time frame. But if we look at oh, this is a 4 hour time frame. Daily time frame is there. I mean, don't see anything. But if we're just looking to get something, then maybe we can capture something like this. This is obviously not a C plus or A plus plus setup. I would say C, C to C plus plus or C to C plus setup. Because it's counter trend, counters trend trade, and it's only about a 1 to 4, which is not bad. But if you went for something like this would have been more like a B plus setup in my books. More reliable. I don't have to outsource going against the daily and outsource going for a higher take profit level. C plus, C plus trade. Trust. C plus. Because if I could get a 1 to 3, I would take this and just in and out for if it was a 1 to 3, but it's not. Um can I make it, a 1 to 3? Maybe. 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 If I started digging, looking for some 2 minute imbalances, boom, one right here. So that would mean here, look. If I went for the lowest one, that would be even better. But maybe this might be a 1 to 3. 2.3 or 2.93. Let's say we were to go for this one right here. Even better. Boom. 1 to 4. Held this 1 to 6. Like I don't like I'm okay with taking those, but for now I'm gonna just call it I'm gonna just say, hey, look, let me compound these accounts first before I start taking the risky trades because I'm still like I still look at the market to see if it does X, Y, Z for counter trades. So I'm still learning before I start focusing on a lot of attention with that. As much as I trade the with the trend, to trade against the trend, that's gonna take a different approach, a different a different skill, a different mindset. So before I get into that type of mindset, let me just start getting comfortable with trading with the 4 hour trend, right? Which I'm doing. And before I get into that, not only that, I also want to, mm, I also want to scale the account. So the more we start looking for points, the lower our probability gets. So just keep that in mind. GBP CHF, I'm gonna just label it as this is green. CHF JPY, we're gonna look at the daily time frame, clearly indicating that we're bullish. Just keeps on making higher highs, higher lows. If it's indicating we're bear or bullish, and we look at the 4 hour time frame, and 4 hour time frame indicates that we are bullish, then we look at the 1 hour time frame, we look at a 30-minute time frame, we look at the 15-minute time frame, we can clearly see that price has already done its price has already done its work. So uh this would have been a perfect trade for us, but unfortunately, it's already played out, and I'm fine. Not interested anyways in JPY pairs. Um, okay, so this is gold. This is the last trade, guys. Last trade idea. So we are overall bullish. I can see that we're bullish here, or lower or higher low. Higher low, higher high. This is our range. I still believe that we can get price to come down here, but might not happen. Especially if we look at the 1 hour, yeah, it might not happen. Probably just gonna overall take this out right here. Take that high out. What about the 4 hour time frame? What does the 4 hour time frame indicate? Because maybe we can catch the 4 hour at least. Minimum. If we go to, let's say we were to go to here. Actually, I think we might be bearish on the 4 hour, but here I'm gonna mark this up. So we get, honestly, it looks confusing. I don't want to do this. Boom. Not interested. Just like that. I don't want to like, spend too much time doing stuff. Um, but yeah, I would put highest. The highest is the closest to our entry. The highest is the closest to our entry. What happened to Euro USD? Was it red? Oh, it's green. I guess it just didn't make the cut. Hmm. I guess you could say that we might be bullish already. Maybe I missed the gravy train for Euro USD already. Yeah, I think I did. I think we did. Um, how about dang, this would have been a good setup too. This would have been a perfect setup. All right, how about here? Boom. Price comes down here. Mm, tell me what this is. Tell me what this is. A 1 to 4. Not bad. No longer interested in price coming down here. Just because of what I've seen on NZD USD. Yeah, US dollar is bearish. Um, GBP CHF. Counter trend trade. I should probably label counter trend trades as like a different color code it differently, maybe like purple or something. I don't know, maybe it's like slowly I'm like slowly implementing different things into my stuff. Like I even tried that last week, categorize pairs in their habitats, so JPY pairs together, stuff like that. Now I'm thinking maybe I might do highest probability to lowest probability. That's all though. That's pretty much my markup for this next week upcoming that we have. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something. Just keep on journaling. I encourage you guys to keep on journaling, keep on learning more about yourself. Um, study yourself. Listen to the way that you think when you lose. Listen to yourself. Listen to the way that you think when you win. So not only document your losses, document your wins, document how you feel during specific days, document, literally just journal everything so that it gives you almost a narrow road to profitability. Um, might be a little bit bumpy during the narrow road to you becoming a profitable trader, but as you can tell, I've had a rocky road this week. I know I have a perfect direction. I have a perfect indication of where I'm going. Um, but in terms of profitability, but it is a journey. I embrace the journey. I look forward to continuing to share my journey, and I'd like to also be a part of your journey as well. So if you're interested, join the Discord. Link is in the description. I pretty much we in my community we share our ideas for free. We also um encourage each other, and not only that, but I also share my ideas on whether I'm gonna get in or get out of trades on a weekly basis as well. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for your time, and like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, and then also enjoy your weekend. Have a blessed one. Take care.